Captain Elena Vasquez stared at the vast expanse of stars through the bridge viewport, her weathered hands gripping the railing. 23 years had passed since the Galactic Council's unanimous decree. Humanity was too dangerous, too unpredictable to remain among the civilized species. The exile had been swift and merciless. "Captain," called her first officer, Commander Jang, "we're receiving multiple distress signals from the Kepler sector." Elena turned, her gray eyes sharp despite the years. The bridge of the Defiance hummed. With activity as her crew, descendants of Earth's exiled population worked with practiced efficiency. "Source: Vorthan vessels, ma'am. Looks like a full-scale Devourer's attack." The irony wasn't lost on Elena. The Vorthans had been among the loudest voices calling for humanity's banishment, claiming humans were a plague upon galactic peace. Now they were begging for help from the very species they'd cast out. Elena's second-in-command, Lieutenant Torres, looked up from his station. "Orders, Captain?" The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew the stakes. The Devourers, a mechanical plague that consumed entire civilizations, had emerged from dark space 5 years ago. Every species that had encountered them was either destroyed or absorbed into their collective. The Galactic Council's mighty fleets had fallen one by one, their advanced technology proving useless against an enemy that adapted faster than they could evolve their tactics. But humanity had learned to fight differently during their exile. "Plot an intercept course," Elena commanded. "Maximum burn." Commander Jang hesitated. "Captain, the Council's standing orders. The Council abandoned us to die in the void." Elena cut him off. "But we didn't die, did we? We adapted. We evolved. We became something they never expected." She was right. The exile that was meant to be humanity's death sentence had instead forged them into something unprecedented. Cut off from established trade routes and technological support, humans had been forced to innovate. They'd learned to strip resources from dead worlds, to build weapons from scrap, to think like survivors rather than citizens. Most importantly, they'd learned to fight like prey that had grown teeth. The Defiance dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler system, immediately surrounded by chaos. Massive Devourer ships, each the size of a city, swarmed around dying Vorthan vessels. The geometric precision of their movements was hypnotic and terrifying. "Tactical analysis," Elena ordered. 47 Devourer vessels, ranging from frigate to dreadnought class, reported Lieutenant Singh from Tactical. "They're systematically dismantling the Vorthan fleet. Estimated time until complete elimination, 14 minutes. Elena smiled grimly. 14 minutes was more than enough. "Signal the fleet," she commanded. "Execute Prometheus Protocol." Across the system, space seemed to shimmer as 24 human vessels decloaked. Unlike the sleek, symmetrical designs favored by Council species, human ships looked like what they were: weapons of war built by a species that had learned to survive against impossible odds. Asymmetrical, bristling with improvised weapons, covered in reactive armor plating scavenged from 100 dead worlds. The Devourers' response was immediate. Their formation shifted with mechanical precision, adapting to the new threat with the same cold efficiency they'd used to destroy dozens of civilizations. But they had never fought humans before. "All ships, scatter Formation Delta," Elena ordered. Remember, they learn, but they can't predict what they've never seen. What followed wasn't a battle in any traditional sense. It was chaos incarnate. Human ships moved in patterns that defied military doctrine, using unpredictable vectors and seemingly suicidal tactics. When the Devourers adapted to one strategy, humans switched to another, then another, keeping their enemy constantly off balance. Commander Zhang watched in amazement as the human fleet danced through space like a pack of wolves, each ship moving independently, yet somehow in perfect coordination. "How are we doing this?" "Same way we survived Exile," Elena replied, watching as the Vengeance rammed a Devourer cruiser while simultaneously launching escape pods that turned out to be packed with explosives. "We stopped trying to be civilized. The tide turned when Captain Morrison of the Retribution initiated what would later be called the Morrison Maneuver, using his ship's dying reactor as a massive bomb while his crew evacuated in what appeared to be a retreat, only to have those same escape pods circle back and deliver precision strikes to the confused Devourers' weak points. Within an hour, the mechanical fleet was debris. As rescue operations began for the surviving Vorthons, Elena found herself face to face with Admiral Krex, the same Vorthon who had cast the deciding vote for humanity's exile. "You came," Krex said, his forearms trembling with exhaustion. "After everything we did to your species, you came." Elena looked at the alien who had condemned her people to die in the cold void of space. "We didn't come for you, Admiral. We came because someone had to." "I don't understand. 23 years ago, you exiled us because you said we were too dangerous to be part of civilized society." Elena gestured toward the debris field where dozens of Devourer ships had been. "You were right. We are dangerous. But we're dangerous to the right things." Krex's translator implant struggled with Elena's next words, spoken in the dialect that had evolved among humanity's exile fleets. "They chose our exile. We chose our destiny." Over the following months, as the Devourer threat spread and Council worlds fell one by one, it became clear that only humanity's unconventional tactics could stand against the mechanical plague. The same unpredictability that had made them outcasts now made them invaluable. But the terms of engagement had changed forever. Humanity would fight, not as subjects of the Council, but as equals. Not because they sought acceptance, but because survival demanded it. Elena stood once again on her bridge, watching as human fleets moved to defend worlds that had once spurned them. Her people had learned the hardest lesson the galaxy could teach. Sometimes the greatest strength comes not from what you include, but from what excludes you. They had chosen humanity's exile. Humanity had chosen to survive it, and in choosing survival they had chosen to become something the galaxy had never seen before. A species that could thrive in the darkness between stars and emerge stronger for it. The stars watched in silence as humanity's ships disappeared into hyperspace, carrying with them a promise. The next time civilization fell, it would not fall alone.